everyone, I'm Ate Abby and now we will talk about globalization. Globalization is the way the world has become more interconnected and smaller like this. So, para mas maintindihan natin kung ano nga ba yung globalization, isipin natin ang mundo ay parang isang malaking barangay na kung saan na dati is magkakalayo-layo sila na katulad na lamang sa probinsya. Diba yung mga agwat ng bahay doon is napakalayo talaga. And yung tindahan doon is sobrang layo rin. Kailangan mo muna tumawid ng ilog or sapa or dadaan ka muna sa bundok or dadaanan mo muna dapat yung bundok. Pero this time, kung titingnan natin, dahil lang sa globalization, para na tayo magkakapit-bahay na lang. Ibig sabihin nito guys, is madali na tayong palitan ng produkto, information, culture. So, example natin sa product, yung morning coffee mo, kunwari, the coffee beans likely come from Brazil or Colombia, are roasted in the US or Europe, and then sold in your local coffee shop in the Philippines. So, next naman, yung serbisyo or yung trabaho ng kunwari sa Philippines. Katulad ng call center, di ba nakikipag-ugnayan sila sa iba't ibang tao sa bansa. Yung information naman sa pamamagitan naman yun ng internet. Katulad na ng sa TikTok, nagiging connected tayo sa magkakaibang lugar at lahi. Sa kulturo naman, katulad na lang din ng panonood ng mga kabataan ng K-pop o hindi lamang naman ng kabataan ang nanonood nun, kundi yung mga matatanda na rin. Kaya mga kapatid, nagiging mas malapit ang connection natin. Katulad na lang sa bansa or dahil lang sa technology at transportation. Pero sa globalization naman, nakakadepende na rin tayo sa isa't isa kung may problema sa ekonomiya ng ibang bansa. Siyempre, apektado rin yung mga kunyari, yung mga tinatransport nilang mga products, and yun. Ngayon, remember guys na malaga yung pagtutulungan and pagkakaisa nating mga tao.
Oh, it's like a village pala. The world has become smaller because of globalization.
Yeah, that's right. Kaya nga na nabanggit ni Ate Abby, nagiging connected yung mga bansa natin.
Gaya din pala ng pare-pareho tayong nanonood ng mga palabas and nakikinig sa parehong musics gaya ng sabi niya, K-pop, kahit saan pa tayo sa bansa.
Yes, I think dahil rin to sa internet connection, mas napapadali yung mga information na nakukuha or nalalaman natin sa iba't ibang bansa.
Globalization helps us share ideas and learn from each other, but it also makes the rich-poor gap even bigger, with some countries getting way more advantage than others.
So globalization is a powerful force, but it's up to us to shape it in a way that benefits everyone.
And it's a huge responsibility but also an opportunity to create a better world. Pero guys, curious lang, paano nagkakaroon ng control ang rich countries sa economy ng weaker countries? Yun ba yung global economic imperialism?
Economic imperialism. In simple terms, ito yung situation kung saan yung malalakas at mayayamang bansa ay nagkakaroon ng malaking impluwensya o control sa ekonomiya ng mga mahihinang bansa. Hindi na siya tulad ng traditional colonialization na may military force. Ngayon, economy ay ginagamit para magkaroon ng power. Powerful countries influence weaker economies in different ways. Una, dahil malakas ang economy nila, sila ay may kakayahang mag-set ng rules, presyo, technology, at trade agreements. Dahil dito nagiging dependent ang poorer countries sa kanila, sa loans, product, technology, at trabaho. Next is control of trade. Dito, powerful countries control the flow of product and resources. Sila ang nagdidictate kung magkano ang raw materials at kung magkano nila ibebenta ang finished products. Ang ending, yung developing countries nagbebenta ng raw materials sa mura pero bumibili ng finished good ng mas mahal. Kaya dito pumapasok yung imbalance. Next is multinational companies. Ito yung malalaking company na nag-ooperate sa maraming bansa. Yes, nagbibigay sila ng trabaho, pero at the same time, sila rin ang kumukontrol sa malaking bahagi ng market. Yung profit na kinikita nila dito sa atin ay kadalasan bumabalik sa mother country nila. Hindi dito naiiwan. Kaya kahit may benefits, they still hold economic power over weaker countries. Another is labor, outsourcing, and foreign products. Powerful countries outsource jobs to countries like the Philippines dahil mababang labor cost. So, mas malaking profit ang napupunta sa kanila habang lower wage pa rin ang workers dito. At dahil maraming foreign products ang pumapasok, nahihirapan ng local businesses na makipag-compete. Pag nasanay tayo sa imported goods, nagiging dependent tayo sa ibang bansa instead of building strong local industries. For example, American Corporation in the Philippines. Makikita natin sa BPOs, fast food chains, tech companies, mails at iba pang retail brands. Yes, nagbibigay sila ng trabaho, pero remember, the bigger portion of profits go back to US, hindi dito. And because they dominate big parts of our market, nagiging dependent tayo sa kanila. Jobs, technology, and products. So overall, global economic imperialism shows how economy power can shape weaker economies. May positive side like job and investment, pero meron ding negative side, tulad ng dependency at loss of control over our own industries. In short, kung sino ang may economic strength, sila ang may malaking influence sa global system.
Global economic imperialism. Kung paano powerful countries nag-i-influence ng weaker economies, hindi na military ngayon kundi economic power.
Para sa akin, ang pinaka-point dito is dependence. Kapag mayaman at malakas ang isang country, sila ang may control sa trade, sa presyo, at sa agreements.
Agree. Sa control of trade, sila ang nagdi-dictate. We sell raw materials ng mura pero binabalikan tayo ng finished products na mas mahal kaya lugi tayo.
Plus, yung multinational companies. Oo, nagbibigay sila ng trabaho. Pero yung profits nila sa home country pa rin napupunta. So, may control pa rin sila.
Tama. Sa outsourcing, dito nila pinapagawa ang trabaho kasi mas mura yung labor. So, good for jobs, pero mas malaking benefit na pupunta sa kanila.
Example, American Corporation sa Philippines. Fast food, BPO, tech companies, helpful pero nagiging dependent tayo. So ayun, that economic imperialism may gain pero may control pa rin ang powerful countries.
Ano nga ba ang age of Westernization, Americanization, and in what ways has this shaped our present-day culture, influenced our current identity as Filipinos, and impacted our
Ito yung panahon na kung saan nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa ating bansa, simula nang dumating ang mga Amerikano. Dito, unting-unting nagbago ang ating kultura, pag-iisip at pamumuhay dahil sa naging influence nila sa atin. So, bago tayo dumako sa mga naging pagbabago simula nang dumating sila, alamin muna natin kung paano ito nagsimula. Nagsimula ito noong unang dumating si Ferdinand Magellan sa Pilipinas noong March 16, 1521. Pero, opisyal na nagsimula ang pananakop noong 1565 sa pagdating ni Miguel Lopez de Legazpi na nag-establish ng first Spanish settlement sa Cebu na nagmamark ng start of Spanish colonization. Dito, nagkaroon ng unting pagbabago sa ating bansa kasi pinakilala na dito ang Catholic religion na karamihan sa mga Pilipino ay naging kasapi nito. Dito din nagkaroon ng simbahan, plaza, nabago din ito yung mga kasuotan noon ng Pilipino kasi andito yung kasuotan na barong at saya. Nagsimula din na pumasok yung wikang Kastila na ang ibang Pilipino ay hindi natuto. Ang pagsakop ng Spanish dito sa Pilipinas ay nagtagal hanggang 1898 dahil nagkaroon ng war between Spanish and American. Na kalaunan ay natalo ang Spanish at nagwagi ang American na sumakop naman sa ating bansa. Sa pagsimula ng pananakop ng American sa ating bansa, nagsimula ito noong December 10, 1898. Naglagdaan ng Spain ang Treaty of Paris na kung saan ibinenta nila ang Pilipinas sa Estados Unidos na nagpasimula ng American period. At dito na nagkaroon ng malaking pagbabago at mabilis na influence sa ating bansa. Natapos ang pananakop ng Amerikano sa Pilipinas toong 1946 at nakamit naman ng Pilipinas ang ganap na kalayaan noong July 4, 1946. Sa pagsakop ng mga Amerikano sa ating bansa, nagkaroon ng malawakang pagbabago. Dahil dito, itinatag ng American ang public education system na kung saan binibigyan nito ng libreng edukasyon ang lahat, mayaman man ito or mahirap. Ginawa rin nilang medium ang Ingles pagdating sa pagtuturo at mananalita, na kalaunan ay mabilis na kumalat at karamihan sa mga Pilipino ay marunong magsalita at magbasa ng English. And lastly is ipinakilala ng mga Americans ang democratic governance, na kung saan tinuruan nila ang mga Pilipino kung paano mamahala ng bansa at mag-participate sa government na nagpasimula ng konseptong kalayaan sa pamamahayag, karapatang pantao, at pagboto. Bukod sa mga pagbabagong hatid ng American sa atin, hindi ito dito nagtatapos dahil kalaunan ay pumasok na dito ang pop culture tulad ng music, pelikula at fashion na naka-influence sa lifestyle ng mga Pilipino, na kung noon ang fashion ng mga Pilipino ay pagsuot ng barong at saya, barong Tagalog at iba pang katutubo na pananamit, nang dumating ang mga Amerikano, nagsimula na ditong pumasok ang Western-inspired na pananamit gaya ng meron na tayong pantalon, palda, blazer at t-shirt. Pumasok din dito ang mga products at negosyo gaya ng pagkakaroon ng canned foods na kung dati ay puro gulay, kanin, isda at lutong bahay ang kinakain ng mga Pilipino. Nagsimula na ang pagdating ng Western fast food gaya ng burgers, fries, pizza, fried chicken, and so on. Nagsimula din yung mga negosyo gaya ng McDonald's, KFC, Jollibee, Wendy's at iba pa. Lastly naman is yung pagkakaroon ng libangan ng mga Pilipino, gaya ng panonood ng movies, pakikinig ng mga music, at pagkakaroon ng radio and TV, na nagkaroon pa ng pagbabago sa bawat taon na dumating. At naging lumawak pa ang influence na maging bukas tayong mga Pilipino sa iba pang Western culture, at unti-unti na nating itong na-adapt, kahit sa panahon ngayon na tinatawag na natin Westernization. Bagamat ang mga pagbabago na hatid ng mga nanakop sa atin noon at pag-adapt na natin ngayon sa mga pagbabago ay nagbigay ng lesson, nagbabago sa pamumuhay natin ngayon, hindi natin maikakaila na may nawawala na pala tayo sa proseso na tinatahak natin. Kasi, gaya nga ng kasabihan na kapag may dumating, may nawawala, sa pag-adapt natin sa modernong pamumuhay ngayon, pagiging bukas sa lahat, nakakalimutan na natin kung saan tayo nagmula. Nakakalimutan at nababago na natin yung ibang kultura na meron tayo noon. At yung kaugalian ng isang Pilipino. So, mahalaga pa rin na sa pag-adapt natin sa kung anong meron tayo ngayon, huwag sana natin kalimutan kung saan tayo nanggaling dahil ito yung katauhan natin na hindi mawawala sa atin.
Now, nalaman na natin ang simula ng Age of Westernization, Americanization. Masasabi ko na marami palang pinagdaanan ng mga Pilipino noon sa proseso ng pagbabago.
Oo nga, yung mga changes na nangyayari pala ay nagsimula noong una tayong sinakop ng mga Espanya.
At nasundan pala ito ng matalo ang mga Spain sa war na nangyari between them and ng Amerika, na naging kasunod na sumakop sa ating bansa.
Nagkaroon din tayo ng knowledge about sa mga pagbabago na nangyari sa atin, gaya ng sa culture natin, pamumuhay at yung way ng pag-iisip natin. Simula nang sinakop tayo ng dalawang bansa na Spain at Amerika.
Ngayon, mas naintindihan na natin ang lahat na nangyari sa ating bansa. Gaya na nung culture na mayroon tayong mga Pilipino ay nahaluan o naimpluwensyahan na ng Western, pero nasa atin pa din ito kung paano natin mababalance or mapapanatili ang pagiging Pilipino.
Tama. Dahil kahit na malaki ang naging tulong ng westernization sa ating mga Pilipino, kailangan wag pa rin nating kalimutan at pahalagahan ang culture na meron tayo. Dahil ito ay nagbibigay sa atin ng tunay na pagkakilanlan bilang isang Pilipino.
May tanong ako guys, bakit phenomenon yung globalization? Continuous ba siya na nangyayari? Ano yung mga naapektuhan nito? Ano yung role ng technology dito?
So ano na nga ba? Why globalization is a phenomenon? Globalization is a phenomenon dahil continuous siya na nangyayari and evolving process that impacts yung mga various aspects ng society, and yung technology plays a crucial role in accelerating it. So, continuously happening in globalization. So, it is not a still but ongoing process siya ng interaction and integration among people, companies, and governments worldwide. So, involved din dito yung pag-increase ng connection sa economies, cultures, and population. So, driven by cross-border trade in goods and services, technology, and flows of investment, people, and information. So, itong continuous exchange and integration make it a dynamic and persistent phenomenon. So, merong 4 na affected dito. So, globalization affects our wide-ranging. So, na-influence dito yung communication, economy, culture, and education. So, first is communication. So, communication, yung world natin, naging mas accessible and equitable dahil sa accessibility, of course. So, yung internet, ginagawa niya effortless yung pag-share ng information with those in different time zones and locations. So, connecting sa other side ng world is much more easier dahil sa globalization, technologies, and the internet than a few years ago. So, sa communication, may 3 nakapaloob din dito. So, first is yung pag-increase ng business opportunity. So, yung technology, minimake niya din na mas mapadali yung pag-connect sa mga suppliers and customers all over the world to streamline those relationships to improve ordering, shipment, tracking, and so on. So, sa kind of communication technology, maraming business yung able na i-take advantage yung opportunities sa different countries or cities. So, improving the economic outlook on a global level. So, marami ding companies today na nag-hire ng mga employees na located sa ibang bansa gamit ang communication vehicle katulad ng video calling, makes it simple to converse with colleagues across the globe. So, almost making it feel as if they are in the same room. Second is yung fewer cultural barriers. So, being able to communicate effectively and frequently with colleagues or friends across the globe helps people understand each other's culture a little better. So, marami ding tao sa culture nila na to be root of communication challenges. So, kapag yung dalawang tao galing sa different cultures and nag-try sila na mag-exchange ng information and the way they speak, their body language, or their mannerisms can be interpreted differently by other person. So, third and last na part ng communication is yung creation of a global village. So, yung global village is created when distance and isolation is no longer matter because people are connected by technology. So, widespread siya ng widespread siya, and telephone and internet access have been life-changing for many people across the world, especially yung mga developing countries. So, second, affected ng globalization is that economy. So, globalization significantly shapes economies by boosting trade through fewer barriers. So, nagre-result siya in more diverse products, cheaper prices, and increased export earnings. So, yung foreign investments na inject yung capital, yung technology, and know-how encourage growth and job creation. So it is also accelerates the spread of technology and enhance din dito yung productivity and yung innovation, as well as competition from abroad drives businesses to improve but can also lead to job losses. So the movement of labor helps fill shortages and increases remittances. So through it may also cause wage downturn. So overall, yung globalization pina-foster niya yung economic growth and ini-improve yung living standard, pero it can also worsen income inequality. So yung global value change boost efficiency but make economies more vulnerable to disruption. And yung third na affected dito is yung culture. So, in a world that includes communication, technologies like the internet and transportation, technologies like air travel, means that people from various cultures around the world were at a far greater pace than ever before. Because of those, it directly affects the following. So, yung arts, entertainment, global sports. So, just think about how K-pop from South Korea massively influences not just throughout South Korea but the entire world, because they made other people from other countries love them and their music. So arts yun. And another is the entertainment. For example, it is the Avengers movies that is basically made in United States of America. It shapes the people taste, not just in the country it made, from the whole world. So it is a movie with one of the highest views of all time around the world, and that is a proof of how globalization affects the cultures in terms of entertainment. Last example is the global sports. Last, yung FIFA World Cup gained a views of 1.5 billion, so meaning there are people from different countries who love the same thing and it's watching its sport. Addition, yung Western culture, especially the United States and Europe, has become dominant. Thanks to the internet, someone in the small village can watch foreign movies like Korean dramas, and some people from cities can enjoy eating ramen and sushi of Japanese tradition. Pero yung bad side nito is when yung powerful cultures spread their influence across the world, small or weaker cultures can feel overwhelmed. So it can slowly replace local tradition. Example dito yung using the English language in social media or personal instead of native and local language. Pero yung positive side naman, it will create a global cultural exchange where it allows people to learn about other countries' cultures through foods, fashion, music, films, and language. In conclusion, globalization both enriched and threatened cultural diversity. The key is finding a balance, celebrating global connections while also protecting and valuing local identities. So lastly is the education. So it broadens access to knowledge and introduces diverse perspectives in learning. So it helps students to be globally prepared and also to appreciate cultural diversity.
Most importantly, it helps students to learn about global issues like poverty and health crisis to enhance their global roles. So globalization affects the education by expanding its goals and responsibility. Education must promote justice, inclusivity, and respect for differences while preparing learners to participate in a global community with moral awareness. Additionally, educators must critically examine global economic models and promote ethical awareness in students. So, example, many schools use international online resources exposing students to diverse perspectives. So this prepares them to address global challenges like climate change. Virtual projects develop cross-cultural communication and global awareness. And yung pinaka-last part na bakit phenomenon yung globalization is that technology speeds up globalization. How? So, through different technologies that provide the internet and digital platforms, it helps make global communication and trade become faster. So, yung magiging result nito is instant sharing of information allows diverse and different cultures to connect and introduce unprecedented ways. So, example, entrepreneur uses a e-commerce platform like Alibaba, Amazon, and other online shopping apps or sites to sell locally made crafts internationally, enabled by faster internet speeds and digital payment system. So, in short or in summary, technology accelerates globalization by breaking down barriers and enabling worldwide communication and trade.
Oh, ang amazing ng globalization, kinoconnect tayo through shared experiences like K-pop and global sports events. Gustong-gusto ko rin na matuto about sa different cultures through movies and music.
Pero at what cost? Nire-risk natin yung pagkawala ng traditions. Nakakita ako ng mga tao na gumagamit ng English online imbis sa own language natin. We need to protect our cultural identity.
Oh well, from business perspective, yung globalization maraming ino-open na huge opportunity. And yung technology inaalaw yung businesses na kumonect sa suppliers and customer worldwide, boosting your company's growth.
Pero ibig sabihin naman na more competition. Yung mga companies minumove yung jobs overseas para sa mga cheaper na labor. What about yung mga local workers? Are we just going to be left behind?
Globalization impacts economies by fostering trade and investment, so it can lead sa economic growth and improve living standards. Kaso mag-worsen yung income inequality if not managed carefully.
That's why education is crucial, as students needs to prepare to be global citizens aware of different cultures and equipped to address global challenges like poverty and climate change.
Pero guys, I'm thinking rin na bakit obscure ang globalization? Fair ba yung naging effect nito sa atin or not?
Kahit ang dami-dami ng epekto ng globalization, parang ang labo pa rin minsan kung ano nga ba talaga ang meaning neto. That's because globalization touches many parts of life. The economy, culture, politics, technology, and communication. Kaya ang hirap bigyan ng isang clear and simple definitions. Nagiging mas obscure siya dahil iba-iba ang epekto niya sa bawat tao at sa bawat bansa. Some benefits in a positive way, like countries with a strong economies or advanced technology, na mabilis maka-adapt, but at the same time may mga lugar na nahihirapan, nakakaranas ng unemployment or kulang sa protection for local workers. Globalization is also a wide and varied process. It covers economic, politics, cultural, social, and even risk-related changes. Kaya iba-iba rin ang perspective ng mga tao tungkol dito. For example, para sa isang manggagawa sa developing country, globalization might mean more job opportunities. Pero para naman sa mga maliliit na negosyante or local farmers, globalization can be challenged because stronger foreign competition weaken local products. Like here in the Philippines, mas mabilis minsan ma-appreciate ang mga imported goods kaysa sa local. Kaya other countries benefits more while local producers lose opportunities. Globalization also involves exchange of ideas, beliefs, and values. Kaya nagkakaroon minsan ng cultural clashes or even identity crisis. Ngayon, mas napabilis ang communication, travel, and social media. The changes can feel overwhelming. In short, globalization is obscure because it's too broad, too complex, and affects different people in different way. But at the same time, malinaw na we are all a part of it whether we notice or not. From the gadget we use, to the food we eat, and even the trends we follow, globalization shape our daily lives.
Globalization feels obscure kasi sobrang wide niya. Parang ang hirap i-grasp ng buo, no?
True. Di ba ang blurry? Kasi nga, hindi rin fair yung nagiging effect nito sa atin, even sa mga bansa.
Grabe pala, no? Ang bilis pala ng changes, kaya lalo tuloy nagiging malabo.
Exactly. Parang hindi mo na makip up, kaya ganun.
Minsan napapa-Korean ako tapos next day ibang bansa na naman yung peg ko. Grabe talaga epekto ng globalization, di ba ang labo?
Ramdam mo siya everywhere eh. Pero kapag tinanong ka what it really is, parang mapapaisip ka sa sobrang broad.
Paano nagre-resulta ang globalization sa pagiging magkapareho at pagkakakonect ng iba't ibang bansa?
Globalization as sameness and interconnectedness is kung paano nagiging magkapareho ang mga kultura at kung paano mas nagiging konektado ang mga bansa. Let's start with globalization as sameness. Ito ay tumutukoy sa pagkakaroon ng shared or universal trends sa iba't ibang bansa. Kahit magkakaiba tayo ng kultura, marami na tayong nagiging pagkakapareho dahil sa global influence. Example of sameness is first is fashion. Magkakapareho ang clothing style sa iba't ibang bansa dahil sa global brands tulad ng H&M, Uniqlo, at Zara. Second is music. Pop, hip-hop at K-pop ay pinapakinggan sa buong mundo. Global ang fans ng mga artists. Third is brands. Halos kahit saan ka magpunta, may McDonald's, Nike, Apple, Starbucks at Coca-Cola. Lastly, social media humor like memes, TikTok trends at viral jokes ay sabay-sabay na nakikita ng mga tao sa iba't ibang bansa. In short of this, ang globalization as sameness ay nagpapakita na nagiging similar ang cultural experience ng mga tao sa buong mundo. Here we go, the second, which is globalization as interconnectedness. Ito naman ay tumutukoy sa malalim na pagkakaugnay ng mga bansa, kung saan mabilis gumagalaw ang impormasyon, tao at ideas. We have 4 example of this. The first is the social media trends. Example of this yung mga viral challenges or memes sa TikTok at Instagram na mabilis kumalat sa iba't ibang bansa kahit nasa ibang continent ka, pareho kang nakaka-relate. Second is global trade. That products na tulad ng smartphones o clothes galing China, Japan o USA ay available sa buong mundo. Ibig sabihin ang ekonomiya ng isang bansa ay nakaka-apekto sa iba. Third is the travel and tourism, na mas madali nang mag-travel abroad. Example of this is yung turista from Korea pumunta sa Philippines para lang sa beach. Lastly is the international news, mga pangyayari tulad ng natural disasters or political events sa isang bansa, na agad naman nalalaman ng buong mundo dahil sa internet at TV. Globalization goes beyond nation states. Ang globalization ay hindi kontrolado ng isang gobyerno lamang. Ito ay pinapaandar ng mga sumusunod. First is the global companies. Big companies na nag-ooperate sa maraming bansa, kaya kumakalat ang produkto at business practices nila. Second is the social media platforms. Nagkokonect ang mga tao globally at nag-i-influence ng trends at communication. Third is the international trade. Palitan ng good at services sa iba't ibang bansa na nagpo-promote ng economic interdependence. Lastly is the technology. Mas pinapabilis ang global connection through communication, transport, at information. In short of this, ang interconnectedness ay nagpapakita ng mas malapit at mas dependent ang mga bansa sa isa't isa. The conclusion of this, ang globalization ay nagpapakita ng dalawang malaking epekto sa mundo. First is sameness. Nagiging magkakapareho ang kultura dahil sa global media, fashion, brands, music, at social media. Second is interconnectedness. Nagiging mas malapit at mas konektado ang mga bansa, kung saan ang information, events, goods, at ideas ay mabilis na dumadaloy across borders.
Oh, globalization is unavoidable. Araw-araw nating itong nararanasan kahit hindi natin napapansin.
Kaya pala. Technology is the main driver, lalo na sa social media, internet, at smartphones.
Yes, culture is blending. Mas nakahaluan at nakahalo ang mga kultura ng iba't ibang bansa.
Okay, countries are interconnected. Ang problem sa isang lugar ay pwedeng makaapekto globally.
Yeah, opportunity and risk may magandang dulot tulad ng access to information. Pero may challenges din tulad ng mga cultural loss.
Exactly. We are global citizens. Bahagi tayo ng isang malaking global community na patuloy na nagbabago.
Pero teka, paano nga ba maintindihan ang globalization?
So why we need to understand globalization? It's because it helps us see how countries, economies, cultures, and people are connected. It explains why products, ideas, and information move quickly across borders and how events in one place can affect the whole world. So sa pag-intindi sa globalisasyon, mas naintindihan din natin ang pagbabago sa kultura, mga global problems at kung paano na-impluwensyahan ng mga ito ang ating mga trabaho, pamumuhay at societies ngayon. So here are 3 ways of understanding globalization. The number 1 is globalization as a process. Globalization as a process means that globalization is something that is ongoing. Kapag sinabi natin globalization as a process, it means na ito ay isang bagay na patuloy na nangyayari at ito ay developing over time. Nagiging mas konektado ang mga bansa sa pamamagitan ng trade, travel, communication, and technology. Pero ang prosesong ito ay hindi nangyayari agad-agad. Lumalago ito habang mas nagkakaroon ng ugnayan ang mga tao at mga bansa. So the second way is globalization as a condition. Globalization as a condition means the world is already connected. It describes the current state of our world, where countries, people, and cultures are linked together through technology, communication, travel, and trade. Ang mundo ay nakarating na sa punto na kung saan ang mga bansa at tao ay palalim ng magkakakonektado. Dahil sa kondisyon na to, naapektuhan ng ating buhay ng mga pangyayari, produkto at idea mula sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo, kahit hindi natin to napapansin. Namumuhay tayo sa isang mundo kung saan hindi na kasing higpit ng dati ang mga limitasyon at mas lalo nang umaasa ang mga bansa sa isa't isa. Kaya ang globalization as a condition ay nagpapakita sa realidad na we are currently living in an interconnected and interdependent world. The last way is globalization as an ideology. It's the belief that the world is better when everyone is connected, shares products, ideas, and culture freely. Ang globalisasyon bilang isang ideolohiya ay tungkol sa vision ng isang unified world o nagkakaisang mundo, kung saan ang mga limitasyon ay hindi na malaking hadlang at hinihika dito ang global interaction. Naiiba ito sa globalization as a process or a condition dahil nakabata ito sa kung ano ang pinaniniwalaan ng mga tao na dapat mangyari. Scholars debate the most accurate definition of globalization because globalization is multidimensional, constantly changing, viewed differently by different fields, influenced by political beliefs, and too complex to be captured by a single definition.
So, ganun na pala intindihin ang globalization in just 3 ways.
Yes. Most dinidebate ng scholars ay yung most accurate definition of globalization.
And 3 ways of understanding it, a process, a condition, and ideology, talagang magigets mo yung about sa globalization.
Yes, kaya natin iniintindi ang globalization ay para makita pa natin of how everything in every country ay konektado.
Globalization happened through trade, travel, technology, and communication.
Yeah, may maganda ring epekto kapag ang lahat ay konektado.
After everything we discussed, from how globalization connects us, affects economies, influence cultures, reshape education, create power imbalance, and even feels obscure. Ang isang bagay ay malinaw na globalization is a strong force that impact everyone, everywhere. Nakikita natin na ang globalization makes the world smaller and more interconnected. Napapadali nito ang communication, trade, at pag-share ng ideas. Kaya mas mabilis tayong natututo at mas nagiging open tayo sa culture ng iba. Because of technology, ang bilis ng flow ng information, trends, product, and even opportunities. Pero, nakita rin natin na ang globalization isn't always equal or fair. May mga bansang lumalakas, habang may mga bansa or local industries na nahihirapan na makipagsabayan because of global competitions. May mga workers na naiiwan, may mga culture na nawawala, at may mga identity na unti-unti nang nagbabago. We also learn why globalization is considered a phenomenon. It's continuous, evolving, and deeply embedded in how we live today. At kung bakit ito minsan obscure, kasi sobrang lawak, sobrang complex, at iba-iba ang epekto nito. Depende sa tao, sa bansa, at syempre, ang perspective. So, what does this mean for us? It means, habang tinatanggap natin ang opportunity brought by globalization, kailangan natin maging aware, critical, and responsible. Globalization gives us access to the world, but it also challenges us to protect our identity, support our local industry, and use our knowledge to make positive changes. In the end, globalization is not just happening around us. We are active participants in it. How it shapes the world depends on how we respond, adapt, and make choices as a global citizens and as Filipinos.
And that's the end of our presentation. Again, I am Albinda Analisa, the leader of Group 1, together with my members, Miss Cambronero,
I'm Abigail Cambronero.
Miss Songwad,
I'm Shayna Songwad from Group 1.
Miss Ayoso,
I am Anne Ermi Ayoso.
Miss Estobio,
I'm Shirlene Estabio.
Miss Balana,
I'm Jessa.
Miss Mangontra,
I am Mangontra Mohaima.
and that's all. Thank you for listening.